Welcome back to your 2020 grant planning. So today we're talking about how to actually do the work that you say you're going to do, how to actually follow through on all of these plans that you're making. So at this point, you've set your big goal for the year. You've set your quarterly milestones. You've set your monthly projects. You've broken those projects down into activities, and you've set up a 2-week sprint. And then you're going to set up your next 2-week sprint when this one ends. So you have broken things down into smaller and smaller pieces. You're eating that elephant one bite at a time. But what I want you to consider is that is just a plan on paper. That doesn't mean that you're actually going to follow through on any of it. So that's what we're talking about today. How do you actually follow through on this plan that you've created? And I think that the very best way that you do that is by protecting time in your calendar, making space for it in your week. And this is where people get a little bit cringy, is when they realize that they actually have to figure out where they're going to fit this into their schedule. So one of the best recommendations I have for you is to try to find a consistent time every day that you can work on these projects. If it's a grant application that you're working on, maybe you set aside half an hour every day. Ideally at the same time, but everybody has chaotic schedules and that just might not be possible for you. But if you can find a little bit of time every day to put towards it, that is just going to make the whole process go much more smoothly for you. But if you have to protect a block of time on a particular day, that's fine too. But just make sure that it is consistent as you can possibly make it. Because otherwise you are going to notice pretty quickly that you are putting a bunch of work into a single day and it becomes absolutely impossible to accomplish everything you're leaving for that one chunk of time. So do your best to chip away at it by blocking out chunks of time in your calendar as often as you can during the week. And when you do that, what you need to make sure that you do is have a plan for each one of those blocks of time. So remember the 2-week sprint that we set up. You know the activities that you need to accomplish over the next 2 weeks. So when you look at your calendar and you block out those chunks of time and you protect them, you are committed to working on that project during those chunks of time. But which specific activities are you going to do during those blocks of time? And that's the piece that I want you to think about today. So when you look at your calendar, when you look at those half-hour blocks or 2-hour blocks or half day that you have to work on something, which activities are going to fill that block of time? So that's how I want you to start thinking about planning your weeks, is taking a look at those times that you have available and assigning the activities that you have in your 2-week sprint into those blocks of time. So that's your task for today. Block it out, schedule in your calendar, and protect it. This is your time to work on your project. Don't let anybody take that away from you. All right, I'll see you next time.